Welcome to my discussion about piecewise functions. We define a piecewise function as a function whose domain is partitioned or divided into several intervals on which smaller functions are defined. For example, we are given a function f, and the domain of f is the set of all real numbers. The entire domain is divided into, say for example, three intervals from negative infinity to a, from a to b, and from b to positive infinity. For each of these subintervals, the function f is divided or is defined, say for example, by g of x on the first subinterval, and then by h of x for the second interval a comma b, and f of x by t of x for the third interval from b to positive infinity. So the entire x-axis, which constitutes the domain of f, is divided from negative infinity to a, from a to b, and from b to positive infinity. A and b. So for the interval negative infinity to a, your f here is equal to g of x. For the interval ab, your f is defined by h of x. And for b to positive infinity, f is defined by p of x. Say this is the graph of the function for the interval negative infinity to a. Then for the interval ab, say for example that is the graph, and for the interval b to positive infinity, we have the following graph. As you can see, the function f is a composition of these three smaller functions defined on the intervals negative infinity to a to b, and b to positive infinity, which constitutes the entire domain of the function f. A typical example of a piecewise function is the absolute value function f of x equal to the absolute value of x. So the absolute value of x is defined by x if x is greater than or equal to 0, and negative x if x is less than 0. We all know that the domain of the function is the set of all real numbers. And this domain is divided into two intervals from negative infinity to 0, and from 0 to positive infinity. So for the interval negative infinity to 0, the definition of your f will be equal to negative x. And for the interval 0 to positive infinity, your f of x is equal to x. So here, the real number line is divided into two intervals from 0 to positive infinity and from negative infinity to 0. So we draw the graph of f of x equal to negative x for the interval negative infinity to 0, which is a straight line. The endpoint is 0, 0. As for the interval 0 to positive infinity, the function f is defined by f of x equal to x, which is also a straight line emanating from the origin, leaning to the right. Let us take on another example. Say, for example, f of x is equal to 2x plus 1 if x is less than 1, which is equivalent to the interval negative infinity to 1. Then the second interval is x greater than or equal to 1. Your f is defined by f of x equal to negative 2. So that is the interval 1 to positive infinity. So the domain is divided into two intervals from negative infinity to positive 1. There. Your f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. And for the interval 1 to positive infinity, your f of x is equal to a constant negative 2. So, at the end point, which is 1, your f of 1 will be equal to 3. That is 2 times 1 plus 1 equal to 3. So we have the point 1, comma 3 at the right end point. 1, comma 3. But since 1 is excluded in that interval, the endpoint is likewise excluded. The coordinates are 1, comma 3, but excluded in the graph. That is for the interval negative infinity to 1. We take on another number x in that interval, say 0. When x is 0, your f of 0 is equal to 1. So, being a straight line, it is enough that we have 2 points there. For the interval 1 to positive infinity, the endpoint is 1. And when x is 1, f of 1 is negative 2. And that point is included in the graph because 1 is contained in the closed interval or the half closed interval 1 to positive infinity. So the coordinates of that point are 1, comma, negative 2. And for all the x's in that interval, for all the x's here, your f is equal to negative 2. So that will be a horizontal line. So the function f is a composition of two lines. For the interval negative infinity to 1, it is the line 2x plus 1. And for the interval 1 to positive infinity, it is the line f of x equal to negative 2. Given the graph of f, we can easily identify the range. The range of the function f is the set of all the y values from negative infinity up to positive 3, but positive 3 is excluded. So we have an open interval from negative infinity to 3 constituting the range of the function f. The next function is g, defined by g of x equal to 1 over x if x is not equal to 0, and 2 if x equal to 0. For 1 over x, it is obvious that x cannot be equal to 0. So for x equal to 0, your g of 0 is equal to 2. This constitutes a point. That corresponds to a point with coordinates 0, 2. So in here, we have the graph of 1 over x. This is the graph of g of x equal to 1 over x, together with this one. But for x equal to 0, your y is equal to 2. So we need to include the point 0, 2 to complete the graph of g. So for all x except 0, the graph is that of 1 over x. And when x is 0, your y is equal to 2. We take on another function f of x equal to negative x minus 2 if x is less than negative 2, the square root of 4 minus x squared if x is between negative 2 and positive 2, including the endpoints, and 2 if x is greater than 2. So f is a composition of three graphs. For the interval x less than negative 2, equivalent to the interval negative infinity to negative 2, the graph is a line. And for the interval negative 2 to positive 2, the graph is that of a semicircle. And for the interval 2 to positive infinity, then the graph will be a horizontal line. So here's the graph of the function f. For the interval negative infinity to negative 2, the equation of f is that of a line negative x minus 2. So the endpoint, though it is included, no, it's negative 2. And when x is negative 2, negative of negative 2 is positive 2 minus 2 is 0. So that point is actually excluded as far as the interval negative infinity to negative 2 is concerned. Alright? And then for all x's less than negative 2, the graph will be a straight line with a slope of negative 1. For the interval negative 2 to positive 2, where the endpoints are included, your square root of 4 minus x squared will be 0. So even if the point negative 2, 0 is excluded in the interval negative infinity, negative 2, it is the left endpoint of the semicircle. At negative 2, your f is 0. So the open circle becomes a closed circle because the endpoint is in the graph of the semicircle in the interval negative 2 to positive 2. At the right endpoint, when x is positive 2, your y is also 0. So we have that point 2, 0. For the interval 2 to positive infinity, the endpoint 2 is excluded, and for that, your y is 2. So the point corresponding to this endpoint, 2, 2, is excluded. And for all the x's greater than 2, your y is equal to positive 2. The next function is t, defined by t of x equal to x squared plus 2 if x is less than 0, and negative x squared if x is greater than or equal to 0. Both x squared plus 2 and negative x squared are parabolas. For x squared plus 2, we restrict our x's to all x's that are less than 0, and for the parabola negative x squared, we restrict it to all x's that are greater than or equal to 0. So the entire domain, which is from negative infinity to positive infinity, is divided into two intervals, those x's less than 0 and all x's greater than 0. So the parabola for x's less than 0 is x squared plus 2. The endpoint 0, 2 is excluded because we have an open interval. For the interval x greater than 0 or equal to 0, the endpoint is 0, 0, and it is included in the graph. The parabola is a parabola that opens downward with vertex at the origin. As an exercise, you draw the graph of the following piecewise function. F of x is equal to 1 minus 3x if x is less than negative 2, 2 minus x squared if x is greater than or equal to negative 2. G of x is equal to 4 minus x squared if x is between negative 2 and positive 2, and x squared minus 4 elsewhere, meaning for all x's outside the interval negative 2 to positive 2, the graph is x squared minus 4. That is, for all x's less than negative 2 and for all x's greater than 2. And h of x is equal to negative 4 if x is less than negative 1, 3 minus 2x if x is between negative 1 and 2 inclusive of negative 1, and x plus 1 if x is greater than or equal to 2, or 2 less than or equal to x.